Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Box Office Talk. This is the show where I break down what happened at the box office, see if my predictions for the top 5 are correct, and then make predictions for next week's top 5. So let's get right on into it. Last week I predicted that number 1 would be Ocean's 8, number 2 would be Hotel Artemis, number 3 would be Solo, a Star Wars story, number 4 would be Deadpool 2, and number 5 would be Hereditary, and I only got 1 out of 5 of my predictions right. Dang it, I was doing pretty well for the past couple weeks, and now I'm just back to 1, so that's spectacular. Let's go over what happened at the box office. Number 1 was Ocean's 8, my only prediction that was right. This actually made the most money on an opening weekend out of all of the Steven Soderbergh Ocean's movies, which all kind of opened around like 35 million. This one, however, made it to 41 million for an opening, and worldwide it is already sitting at $53 million. And that's actually a pretty good opening considering the budget is only 70 and they need to get to about 140 to double that and be considered a success. I think it's actually going to get there, and I think this is actually a pretty strong opening for the film. I think the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is a little mixed, but the critic score is pretty strong enough that I think next weekend it won't drop a whole lot and it still can make a lot more money than this. So that's pretty good. I think the movie was just kind of decent, and I think the other Ocean's movies are better, but, well, not Ocean's 12, but I do think that this is worth seeing if you are an Ocean's fan, because it is pretty fun at some parts. Number 2 was Solo, a Star Wars story, making $15 million, adding to a domestic total of 176, almost at $200 million domestically. Who would have thought that a Star Wars movie would be struggling to get to $200 million domestically? Dang. But on the worldwide chart, it is sitting at $312 million. Who would have guessed that a Star Wars movie would be struggling to get to $500 million worldwide? That is astonishing to me. So far, this is still a big flop for Disney unless the worldwide numbers eventually skyrocket, but I don't think they will. So, sorry, Disney. I hope you are able to rework your plans or whatever you're going to do to correct this. I don't really know what you're going to do, because you got to do Episode 9 next year, but you still have that Rian Johnson trilogy in development and that potential Boba Fett movie, and the Game of Thrones people are doing a trilogy. I don't know what your plan is to reconfigure all this. Just good luck. Number 3 was Deadpool 2, making $13.6 million, adding to a domestic total of 278, and on the worldwide chart it is sitting at $655 million. So it only needs about $22 million domestically to get to $300 million, and I think it will be able to get to $300 million before it leaves the top 10. I think so. It won't be able to make more than the first Deadpool. I'm thinking it won't cross over that, but it will get to at least $300 million. So that is pretty good. That the distance between how much Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2 made overall isn't too far apart. So that's pretty good for this film. Number 4 was Hereditary, which actually is an A24 record breaker right now because it made $13.03 million on an opening weekend, and that is actually the highest opening weekend that an A24 film has ever gotten, which is astonishing. Like, usually these movies open with low numbers, but the fact that a $13 million one is their highest opening ever, like, that amazed me when I read that. But hey, they broke a record, so that's pretty good. A lot of people wanted to go see it, even though the cinema score is like a D+, so the drop probably isn't going to be too good, but they still made more than half of what they need to, because the budget is $10 million and needs to get to $20, so just $7 million more dollars, and they've got what they can consider a success, so that's good. Hereditary actually did a lot better than some guessed, I guess. I still have to wait to see this. I think I'm going to see it around Father's Day, make it a Father's Day affair. I'm sure very appropriate for that, but I cannot wait from what I've been hearing. Number 5 is Avengers Infinity War, making $6 million, adding to a domestic total of $654 million. Now, that's $2 million over Jurassic World domestically. However, it still needs to get past Titanic 659, which it will do, but I don't think it's going to be able to catch up to Black Panther now, 699, basically 700 million, or Avatar 760, or definitely not Star Wars is 936. That's not too bad. Like, this movie is still making a ton of money, so this isn't like the worst thing to happen. Like, it's still crushing it, but I guess some could be disappointed that it's not the #1 movie overall. But even worldwide, it's about to get to $2 billion, which is pretty good, but it still needs to get past Force Awakens is $2,068 million, which I'm not sure if it'll be able to do. And even then, it still would have to take down Titanic and Avatar, and I just don't think it's going to take down any of those movies. So it's still doing very well. Don't get me wrong. This movie is a financial success. Do not feel bad that it's not #1 on everything. It's just that it's behind certain other films. Like, it's not a big deal. This movie's still amazing financially. Number 6, we have Adrift, making $5 million, adding to a domestic total of $21 million. And the worldwide chart is basically just like a couple thousand, so it's not really impacting it that much. It still needs to get to $70 million to double that $35 million budget. I just don't think we're going to see that happen, especially since it's already at number 6 right now. So, sorry, Sam Claflin and Shailene Woodley. Maybe next time. Number 7, we have Book Club making $4 million, adding to a domestic total of $56 million. And on the budget, that's like $36 million over its doubling point. So this movie is still doing very well. I think I've said this multiple times. So let's move on to a flop that is new. Hotel Artemis did not even make it to number 2 like I predicted. Like, dang. I thought this movie would do a little bit better. Maybe people would be intrigued by the cast, by the premise. Apparently not. It only made $3 million this weekend, and this is on a budget of $15 million, so it is not doing well at all. Unless this is a worldwide darling, which I doubt. I think you could definitely say that this is a flop. This will be coming to like red boxes in like 2 weeks, I guess, because where else can it really go? Because no one's really going to the theater to see it. That kind of sucks because it looked kind of neat, but from what I'm hearing, it's a little mixed, so maybe that's what turned people off from seeing it. Number 9 was Upgrade, making $2.2 million. About to leave the top 10, which is pretty sad because I love this movie, but it made $9 million in total domestically, which is only $1 million behind a doubling point of its $5 million budget, so that's pretty good at least. It's very close to getting there, and it will get to that doubling point. So, yay, Blumhouse released a film that isn't a flop, and it doesn't deserve to be a flop. I think it deserves a lot more money, but it didn't get the greatest marketing or something, so blah, 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 that sucks. And now closing out the video, we have Life of the Party at number 10, making $2.1 million, adding to a domestic total of 50, and on the worldwide chart, it is sitting at 58 million, which is only 2 million away from getting its doubling point of 60 million. So once it gets out of the top 10, I'm pretty sure it'll get there, but that's still not a great financial hit, especially for the likes of Melissa McCarthy or Ben Falcone. But now it's time for the fun part, the predictions for next week's top 5. I'm going to go number 1, Incredibles 2, number 2, Ocean's 8, number 3, Tag, number 4, Solo, A Star Wars Story, and number 5, Deadpool 2. But what are your predictions for next week's top 5? Leave it in the comments below, and if you got your predictions right for this week, you're going to get a shout out right now. Unless you didn't get it right, then I'm sorry. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.